Welcome to the Digitally Dreaming Off the Ground podcast. I'm your host, Asif Ali. And as you guys can see on our background, is a Victory Thursday. And I kind of referenced or alluded to this in my last episode with co-host Khalid Abdallah, but I wanted to kind of use this episode to actually kind of go into the details of my week two fantasy performance and kind of, what to expect and what I'm predicting for week three. So let me just kind of pull up my lineups here. As you guys can see on the screen, I both my leagues I posted wins. I was 90. I posted a almost a 10-point win in my first league, the Gridiron 81 don't stop, with a 94.75 victory. And then my second league, I posted a 3-point win, but that one was more impressive because I came back down basically 80 points, 88 points. I was down. So let me read my lineups to you guys. The fantasy app is always just giving me bugs. I gave them a 5-star review today on Google and always gives me bugs. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back to week two. Okay, so Lamar Jackson, Travis Etienne Jr. You guys could see that. And essentially, if you look, I had George Kittle and Michael Pittman Jr. Both of them did not play. My opponent had Dak Prescott. So I don't know, maybe I just fell asleep on the wheel or something like that. But I did not, because Kittle's injury update was basically day to day. And so essentially, I was banking on him to be ready because Kittle's in the past when he has injuries, he usually is he tends to heal pretty quickly. But essentially, with Kittle not being able to play and it being a game time decision, I just maybe wasn't paying attention to adjusting my lineup. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of lucky to eke out this win. But let's just kind of go through this. So Lamar Jackson had 318 yards and 4 total touchdowns. Travis Etienne Jr. had 8 points. So Lamar Jackson's points based on PPR was 42.62 points. Travis Etienne Jr. had 20 yards and 8.3 points. Kareem Hunt had 9.4 points. Michael Pittman Jr. 0 points. Devontae Adams 9.2 points with 2 receptions, 12 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle 0 points and didn't play. Jerry Jeudy had 2.2 points with 1 reception, 11 yards. The 49ers defense special teams, 2 interceptions, 7 passes, some fumble recovery, 7 passes attempted, or I guess blocked, whatever. 13.0 points. And Justin Tucker had 10 points with five out of 5 extra points and one out of 1 field goals. Trey Lance only had 30 yards on my bench. Trey Lance didn't perform, but the highest performer on bench was Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk had 4 receptions for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns for a total of 25.8 points, right? So this league right here, obviously, I banked on, the star power, of Lamar Jackson. Essentially it was just Lamar Jackson who carried me all the way. I mean, no one else outside of Justin Tucker were in double digits, and Justin Tucker was at 10 points. So no one even got close to 20. So I was very fortunate that my opponent didn't start Dak Prescott, or he didn't change Dak Prescott from his starting lineup, and I'm also very fortunate that Lamar delivered in a great game. But I think that also the 49ers defense special teams did much better this week as opposed to last week. Last week I think they only needed maybe like 4, 5, 6 points, something around there. Michael Pittman actually did pretty good last week. It's just he was injured for this week, and the fact that I left Christian Kirk on my bench and was a big gaffe on my part. So, lesson learned. I could have potentially. But I'm not saying my bench was much better. I mean, Raheem Mostert was the only other player on my bench in double figures with 10.9 points. Noah Fant could have played in lieu of George Kittle, but he only had 3.1 points, so it wasn't going to make a huge difference either way. But if I had Christian Kirk instead of Michael Pittman Jr., then my margin of victory would have been much higher. Obviously, going from 94, whatever it is, 94.7 to probably over 110. So lesson learned. Obviously, this week, and I'm going to get into that after I finish recapping my other team's performance and my lineup, my other league right here, of kind of what I'm doing for week 3 in fantasy. So let's go into my other league, my ESPN Plus PPR league. So Jalen Hurts last week obviously had a sensational performance, 333 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and interception for 33.02 points. Derrick Henry only had 8.5 points. He still had a touchdown, only 25 yards rushing. Josh Jacobs had 69 yards rushing, 9.1 points. Stephon Diggs, right? Mr. Diggs, right? 12 receptions for 148 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 44.8 points PPR. T. Higgins had 19.1 points. Darren Waller had 17 points. Jalen Waddle, 11 receptions for 171 yards, 2 touchdowns for 40.1 points. Colts defense, special teams, fat goose egg, 0. Matt Gay, 7 points. So ultimately, let me see, then on my bench. Oh, and on my bench, Garrett Wilson. You never doubt Joe Flacco, right? Garrett Wilson had 8 receptions for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, 30 points. So, I could have definitely played him, in lieu of, but I mean, but if you look at my receivers, Darren Waller had 17 points, T. Higgins had 19 points, Jalen Waddle had 40.1 points. So my receivers pretty much they're all productive across the board. There wasn't any receiver who didn't perform. I think my running backs, I definitely could have used some help there. I mean, Miles Sanders had 11.6 points. I mean, not bad, but not great. Carter had 10 points, so not bad, but not great. Kirk Cousins, obviously, I left him on the bench for a good reason. So he only had 8 points, right? Obviously, he had a horrible game against the Eagles. Obviously, Jalen Hurts with his historic performance. I mean, that's something I'm going to remember this performance for a while, because the last time we saw a performance like this was Michael Vick on Monday Night Football, I believe. Yeah, Monday Night Football. Against the Commanders back in 2010 when he won Comeback Player of the Year. So a lot of great kind of games this weekend, right? A lot of great comebacks as well. And I'm the sole beneficiary of some of those comebacks. With my fantasy, obviously Joe and Waddle. Stephon Diggs dominated, but Jalen Hurts as well. And if I would have played Garrett Wilson, then yes, I would have definitely dominated, and I would have had a much larger margin of victory than just 178.95, over 175.9. So ultimately, I think, this week for fantasy, it was really good, because in last week, let me kind of go through my score in week one. In my first, and the week I'm just referencing, I lost by 114.72 to 118, I believe, 0.85. So I lost by 4 points. And then my other league, if I go to week one, let's go back. So, by the way, my leagues, I don't know any of the people I'm playing with. I'm just in the ESPN league. These aren't my friends or anything. So, yeah, my other league, let's see, 114.72. And then the other league, week one, where is it? 141.12. So I won by 10 points. So, you know, and same the usual suspects, Lamar, Michael Pittman Jr. It's a huge drop off for Michael sorry, not Michael, for I think Devontae Adams, because he went from 30.1 down to around 19 or 17, 19 points. Jerry Jeudy as well, and now he's questionable for week 3. But obviously, it's good to see players trending in the right direction. So trending in the positive direction. So now moving forward, for this week, Gridiron, 81 don't stop. Lamar's questionable for week 3. He's playing New England. They're ranked 7th right now, I think, in pass defense, or at least fantasy day defense. So he's projected to have 23.2 points. I'm hoping that he does. He said he vows to play that game, to come back, from last week's heartbreaking loss, thriller, right? So I might play him. There's a lot of good quarterbacks available in my league. Ryan Tannehill, who's playing against the Raiders. Geno Smith, Geno Smith and Mariota are both also available. Tua is also available in that league. But they have much tougher matchups this week. Tua is playing against the Bills. And so that's all. I'm hesitant to pick him up. But essentially, Travis Etienne Jr. is projected to have 10 points. Kareem Hunt's only going to project to have 10 points. But Devontae is projected to have a bounce back game of 19 points. Christian Kirk's projected to have 14 points. So yeah, Michael Pittman is still questionable, so I'm benching him this week. If he does play, I'll probably start him in front of Christian, because Christian Kirk's playing against the Chargers. Much tougher opponent in my opinion than the Colts. Tight end wise, I'm leaving Kittle on the bench. If he does play this week, he'll have 12. He's projected to have 12.6 points. Noah Fant, who I'm starting, but there are other great tight ends I think available. Or are there great tight ends available? Let me check. Logan Thomas projected at 8 points. Evan Ingram, yeah, not necessarily great tight ends. Hayden Hurst, I mean, but serviceable tight ends. So none of them are on Kittle's level. So we'll see if they play. And pretty much, yeah, that's Team Ali. That's in my Minnesota ESPN Plus league. And but I'm looking forward to hopefully if Kittle does play, it'll be great. And Garrett Wilson, I'm leaving him on the bench. And yeah, I mean, unless he has another phenomenal game, I'm leaving him on the bench. So, and then my other league, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Darren Waller, Jalen Waddle. The Colts are. I'm probably going to drop the Colts defense special teams after last week because they're playing against Kansas City. That game's probably going to be a shootout. Matt Ryan's actually available quarterback in the league. Jalen Hurts is playing against a tougher, not necessarily tougher, but we'll see. I mean, I do believe in Jalen Hurts as a passer. I expect him to continue his production through week 3. It's just divisional games are always tough, so the Commanders will probably be a much tougher opponent than Minnesota, just because divisional games are always tough. Doesn't matter how good the team is on paper, whatever the PFF rate kind of score says or whatever. It's the teams that play divisional games. They're always much tougher in those divisional games. So I think I'll probably stick with Jalen. And in minor league, so if Lamar is not good to go, I may pick up Matt Ryan. He's projected to have a great game. Ryan Tannehill is also projected to have a great game. Against the Raiders. I don't know if Matt Ryan will have a great game. I mean, it depends if Pittman's available, right? So I'm kind of screwed based on the Colts actual season because if Pittman's out, then Ryan is not, and if Ryan's my backup quarterback, then he's not gonna have too many weapons or any type of available targets if Pittman's not there. Probably put maybe like 15 points max. Oh god, or whatever he did last week. He did the worst quarterback rating ever was 6.3, something ridiculous. Niners defense special teams are only projected to have 4.8 points against Denver. I don't know about that. I mean, I think Russell Wilson obviously 16-4 against the Niners in his career, but I think personally that the Niners are definitely going to be motivated to play this game because of Jimmy. It's not necessarily Trey Lance, who provided some another form of motivation for week 2 to kind of bounce back from week 1, but I think Jimmy is definitely there's new motivation for the players to basically rally around Jimmy, rally around Trey's injury, and kind of go out there and get a statement win on Sunday Night Football, right? So we'll see how the Niners game shapes out. But anyways, let's see. Anything else? Okay, so Justin Tucker against the Patriots. Yeah, I mean 8.3. Yeah, I mean a lot of question marks. I'm not sure. If I'm feeling as confident this week. My lineup as it's currently constructed. Rashad Penny's available. Projected to have 11.2 points against Arizona. Allen Robinson's also available. He's going up against Arizona as a receiver. Sterling Shepard's available against Dallas. Roy Moore is available against the Rams. Rex Burkhead is available against the Bears. Logan Thomas is available. Evan Ingram, Hayden Hurst. From flexes, the top available flex in my league is Allen Robinson, then followed by Rashad Penny, then followed by Sterling Shepard. Brandon McManus is the top available kicker. Yeah, so my league is pretty thin on talent. So let me go to my other league and check best available players. Yeah, Mariota, Carson Wentz, Tannehill, Mariota, Carson Wentz, Tannehill, Rex Burkhead again. No one likes no love for Rex. Sterling Shepard's also available. Jacoby Myers is Jacoby Myers is projected to have 13 points. Interesting. D Shark is available for 10.8 points. Kickers. Joseph's available. Minnesota projected to have 8.4 points against Detroit. Yeah, Dallas Goedert's available. I actually played against Dallas Goedert last week, and fortunately, in this league, if Dallas Goedert had more than if Dallas Goedert averaged around, I want to say if he had maybe 20 points, then I would have lost. But obviously, Dallas is only projected to have 8.9 points on the season. It's been pretty consistent with that. With his output so far. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way. I mean, I'm currently projected to win 62% over 38%. Um, Okay. George Kittle's on his bench, yeah. So yeah, my other league, Kittle's Taste the Rainbow. Yeah, I'm playing against an Niner fan in my other league. Kittle Taste the Rainbow. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's kind of like blurring out. Um, but he has Trey Lance as his starting quarterback. He should probably bench his quarterback. He's a Niners fan. He had the Niners defense, special teams, Robbie Gould as his kicker, George Kittle's on his bench, Trey Lance was a starting QB. He's a Niners fan like me. So, I mean that's what I'm saying. I don't know any of the guys in the league, but it's kind of funny when I get to see that we support the same teams and we have the same exact lineup, like with Kittle and Trey Lance. Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. And let's see, picks can pick them. Didn't have as good of a week as I did last week. In week two, I basically, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, I picked the Chiefs, right? I picked the Browns. That was a loss. The Commanders, that was a loss. Got the Bucks right, Giants right, Steelers wrong, Colts wrong, Ravens wrong, Rams right, 49ers right, Bengals wrong, Broncos right, Cardinals right, Packers right, Bills right, Vikings wrong. So I think ultimately, did I go 500? Doesn't say. Ultimately, for like my entire overall performance from week 1 to 2, I'm now 18-13. So I'm ranked like in the 50,000, or I guess the 93.8 percentile, which is still pretty good. But I mean, 18-13. Ugh. Yeah, pick'em. The pick'ems are very very tricky, right? So I mean, I try not to go with the favorites all the time, but I mean, essentially sometimes, it's just like intuition to kind of just say, okay, yeah, teams at home, they're hot, go with the favorite, or go with the home team. And so next week, let's see. So we can actually talk about tonight's matchup against the Steelers and the Browns. Man, this one, I don't even know. Man, this is going to be a very, very good one. A great, great divisional matchup. Two almost evenly matched teams. Yeah, I'll probably, Browns are at home, Steelers. Gosh, I'll probably go with the Steelers. Okay. Shout out Levon Kirkland and any other Steelers on my podcast. Who else on the podcast from the Steelers? Levon Kirkland, Juki Kobe. Who else? I think I had one more. I can't recall. But obviously Ryan Harris was with the Steelers, but okay. Um, Texans, Bears. Gosh. Oof. I go with the Bears to bounce back. Um, Raiders, Titans. People are going with the Raiders. Hmm. Yeah, I'll go with the Raiders. Chiefs, Colts. Come on, Chiefs easily. Bills, Dolphins. Oh wow, this is gonna be tough. Bills are a deeper team. Dolphins at home. I'll go on a limb. I'm gonna go Dolphins. That's gonna be like everyone's gonna chew me up after this on Twitter. Vikings, Lions. Let's see. Vikings to bounce back. Ravens, Patriots. Ravens to bounce back. Bengals, Jets. Can Flacco keep it going? That's the question. Joe Burrow. I believe in Joe. He basically was on I believe it was ESPN today, or I forgot what network it was, and he said that we are 0-2, but there's nothing to worry about. So there's still 15 games left. I agree with them, so I'm gonna go with the Bengals and bounce back. Eagles, Commanders, Eagles all day. I believe Jalen Hurts. Saints, Panthers, Saints. Chargers, Jaguars. Chargers barely. Looking forward to that one. Rams, Cardinals. Sheesh, that's tough. God, the division the Niners playing is so tough. Rams, Cardinals, golly. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Go with the favorite. Falcons, Seahawks. I'm going on a limb. I'm gonna pick Seattle. Sorry, Atlanta. Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at home. They have their number historically. Mike Evans not playing. I'm gonna go agree. I'm gonna go with Packers. I'm gonna go Packers with the upset. Niners, Broncos. I'm gonna go Niners. That's gonna be a tough one though. Giants, Cowboys. I'm gonna go the Giants. Okay, my picks are made. So, anyways, looking forward to tonight's matchup. Obviously LinkedIn, Twitter. If you guys see, I've already posted the polls. Feel free to vote, interact. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fantasy as well because hey man, it's winners Thursday. Oh my gosh, I hmm, I don't know though. I mean, 2-0, 1-1. This guy right here, he almost had me. He was this close. Oh my god. I did not think I was going to win this game. I really didn't think so. I mean, when you're down 90 to 175 point whatever the fuck, you're just like, dude. And I only had 5 players up to play. And fortunately, those 5 were sorry, not 5, 3 players. Yeah. Stephon Diggs, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry. 44, 33, 9. I was just enough, right? Let me do the math. 77. Yeah. I was like, it's right there. But then where did the 3 come from? I'm trying to think. Did I have a kicker, special team somewhere? I tend to, be good with numbers, but today my brain's just kind of fried. But oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, fantasy. I think, yeah, let me just go back to my lineups. Let me see who I'm gonna pick. So yeah, I guess because all the question marks I highlighted earlier, guys, I'm not sure. I mean, Judy, I want to play him. I really want to play Kittle, but if they're injured, same thing with Pittman. I want to play Pittman. He was good. Got me good points. Because my current projections is I'm 108 points. I'm projected to win by 4% my current lineup because my opponent has Russell Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, all from the Bengals, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, Mark Andrews, Eli Mitchell. Oh, he's Eli Mitchell. Jeez, I wonder if everyone is like, do they fall asleep in these leagues? I mean, I know some people are like in 12 different leagues at once. So I mean, I can't talk because I basically let Kittle and freaking Pittman both play last week. So, but I'm just like, dude, like Dak Prescott is like starting. Like what? Like, are you not? Are you asleep, bro? Like, what are you doing? Holy shit! And then yeah, Kittle sees the rainbow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to get a new defense special teams. I'm definitely dropping the Indianapolis defense special teams, and that last week was just horrendous from both ends. Um, yeah, and Kansas City is not going to be any easier. That's another issue. I wanted to play Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but Patrick Mahomes is basically like a new Tom Brady. He's just spraying the ball so much, and he's proven that he's be as dominant without a number one receiver, without Tyreek Hill, right? I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster's there, but he's not Tyreek Hill, right? I mean, Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. Look at Tua. I mean, it's just phenomenal his instant impact. And shout out to Mike McDaniel, 49ers coach, right? It's just crazy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so I think that wraps it up for that. And one more thing, the Lakers are basically in talks with the Pacers for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Undisputed was talking about this morning. They want the 2027 first, 2029 first, in addition to Russ. And I mean, I think it's good for LeBron if they're able to do that. But I mean, at the same time, it's a big asking price because the Lakers have already kind of mortgaged their future away when they got Anthony Davis, and they did that again. They kind of add to when they got Russ. So, I think GD Bus is kind of sitting firm. She doesn't want to mortgage any more future picks. But you'll see if the Lakers can, find a way to get, a deal done with, to get Buddy Hield and to get Miles Turner. Because those will be huge pickups, right? Be huge pickups for the Lakers. Plus, then Lakers, we definitely could use some help. But anyways, yeah, that's my fantasy. Those are my picks. Thank you all for tuning this episode. Hopefully you guys all enjoy the game tonight, and I'll be back on next week. See y'all later.